Get back into the truck, GR-13. The mission is canceled. GR-13. I said it's over.
My name is Sergeant Andrew Scott.
Solved that question for years.
Tell me how it worked.
By hyper-accelerating the bodies, we discovered that we could turn dead flesh into living tissue. But to make the process work, the bodies ran at dangerously high temperatures, needed to be constantly cooled, the brains sedated, controlled. Otherwise, they would eventually stroke.
What are you saying, Doctor?
Dr. Gregor?
Excuse me.
Private! When I say jump, you say how high! Got it? Got it! Get it in your fucking head!
Welcome, everybody, to another Sweet podcast. What do we? Yes, for Citizen Frame.
Every single time.
Welcome to Citizen Frame. The spoiler filled, but don't worry, this is Universal Soldier, so there's really not much spoiling going on. And harsh language. I am Ciaran, the host. Joined me today is the usual band of misfits. Chris, what's up, dude?
Hello. I'm looking forward to this one.
I know, so am I, actually. We haven't talked golf in a while, since Rocky.
Another film that he takes steroid injections in, which is always good.
Yeah, it's pretty much copy and paste. And we're here with Trevor.
Good to be here, as always.
There you go. We need Trevor because any David Lynch fans need any kind of references. This is my prediction. Trevor will find some kind of fucking relationship from this film to Eraserhead.
Well, it's actually if there's a certain scene with Dolph Lundgren, and it actually is very much a reference to David Lynch's Blue Velvet. Nah, I'm only joking. No, there is absolutely fuck all of depth in this film.
You do know that.
You know what though? That's okay.
Absolutely.
You do know that this happens in the same universe as Dirty Dancing. It's obviously the Doctor, and this is also the Doctor.
Yeah. He's the mother,
yes.
he's the mother. What am I talking about? He's the father of Jennifer Grey in it.
Yeah.
So
he was the same universe. Well-known fact.
He was the groomer,
right?
Universal Soldier came out in 1991. Relatively pretty big box office little hit. And that pretty much ended their careers. But either way, it did give us Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. Roland, is it Roland or Roland? It's Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin met on a film, Roland's first American film called Moon 44. It's actually a cool little sci-fi prison movie. I think it's pretty good. You should check it out. But these guys end up collaborating, and their first collaboration was Universal Soldier. Obviously, we know their story. They went on to do a great little film called Stargate. Then they did Independence Day. Then they kind of broke up, and he's gone. Rollins now does more disaster films, which I enjoy. Day After Tomorrow, 2012, so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this was the one that kind of catapulted him to stardom. And I remember seeing it. I went to a screening of this with my brother Brian. I remember seeing it, coming out there going, my God, this is a masterpiece. Now, seeing it through the podcast eyes, let's just dive into it.
There's something that you're going to have to, I've got pretty much in my head, and I'll give you kudos if you can change my mind. This is technically, in my eyes, a zombie comedy.
Yeah, I mean, that it's a stretch, but I get what you're saying. So I do. Yeah.
Now, zombie is in the acting.
Yeah, it's definitely an unintentional comedy.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the problem that we're going to see with this film today. And I thought about this. And this doesn't mean I'm not going to like the movie. Because again, I praise Commando. But there's a time difference here. Okay? 80s was all about cheese. You got away with it. We talked about Night of the Comet. We've talked Commando. We've talked we've talked about Steven Seagal. We talked about Van Damme. Rocky would be a perfect example. Rocky 4, that is. We've talked about getting away with it because what the hell? You're in the time. Go for it.
80s excess.
Have fun. The problem is the entertainment industry changed right in 91, and the film industry changed, and the music industry. You had the hair bands, the glamour rock, which I still love, and is now making a comeback today, thank God. But that changed what they call the grunge scene. Things got a little more darker, edgier songs. Nirvana, Pearl Jam, all these bands. But so did the movie industry. You had Cameron Crowe starts coming up with films like Singles. You had Reality Bites. You had darker films coming out. Not did I say darker, but just deeper, like Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, even, and Seven. And, David Fincher-esque kind of films. And what happened with Universal Soldier? It came out too late.
Yeah,
I think it came out right in the cusp, right when that transition was happening. The last film that can get away with what this film does is one of my favorites, and it ended at 89. And that was Tango and Cash.
Or maybe even Total Recall.
Oh no, that's a lot smarter than that's.
Oh no, it's a clever film, but there is an over the top sort of violence and sort of
but that's
80s
not,
vibe about it.
Yeah.
That's not the action. That's not the action cheese we're talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think we're getting away from a point though that I find this still an enjoyable watch. Like it's not a too deep that you need to do a lot of thinking about it, but it's still.
I just wanted to give a story about what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
Like I said, it doesn't mean I don't like the film. I just can see why people would look at it today, or even back then, a lot of people didn't like it. I can see why people might have, I don't know, kind of missed what they were trying to do. Mm-hmm. But we have Dolph Lundgren, and I mentioned with the podcast we did with Rocky IV and with I Come in Peace, or as you guys know it as Dark Angel, he's likable.
Yeah.
And I
Masters of the Universe.
Yep. Yeah, I don't care what he's in.
Yeah.
I just like him.
I like Dolph, and I also like Van Damme, I have to say. However, one of my issues with this film in particular is that it is trying too hard to be an 80s action cheese fest, and also and they don't pull it off, but also the likes of Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren, they're no Arnie or Stallone for that matter. They just don't have. They're like a poor man's Arnie and Stallone, and they just don't have the charisma of those two. And don't get me wrong, I do like Van Damme and Lundgren, but they're not Arnie and they're not Stallone.
But I agree and disagree with you in parts there, Trevor, and the fact that I actually think that this is kind of the perfect role for Dolph. I thought that he actually played.
Well, he's the better of the two.
Forget about the acting. Yeah, there's obviously flaws, but I think he plays the character the best out of anybody in the film, and I think it's probably a really good suited character for him. The problem I've got with Van Damme is that they, in large parts of the movie, especially near enough 90% of the action, they almost use Van Damme and the skills that he's got. It's a lot of roundhouse kicking and jumping up, and
it wouldn't be a Van Damme film without all that. But
yeah, but that's what it don't. It's almost like right, here's the Van Damme part. That's what I don't like. It's forced. I think in that it would have been. It's very much an army kind of Vietnam. Film. I would have had liked to have toned down on the martial arts kind of aspect of it, but again, they got Van Damme in, so of course they're going to use that. But that it just felt a bit forced and fake.
It's funny you say that because obviously Van Damme's the go-to on this one. That was their box office because at the time he was still box office draw.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on what Trevor said, that's what he does: round kicks and his cool moves.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. Yeah.
But you're right. That means I don't think Van Damme should have been in this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see a cool badass robot zombie guy doing round kicks. I want to see him ripping people's heads off.
Yeah.
And shooting
ultra
things.
violence. Yeah.
Like
they don't suit the martial art role, the characters they're playing.
Arnie would have done it, but then Arnie would have been good in it, but obviously he had the Terminator kind of thing going on, and I would have liked to have seen someone of the same kind of stature as Dolph, going head like two titans, whereas Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's more of a David against Goliath kind of, in a way. Parts of it are kind of David against Goliath, that Dolph's the bigger, stronger, has obviously juices up in it. But don't get me wrong, it still has its wee positives for me.
I must admit, watching it, I actually thought to myself, if Arnie hadn't been cast in the original Terminator, Lundgren would have made a good Terminator. Not as charismatic and not as effective as and iconic as Arnie, but he would have been a good stand-in.
Well, I'll give you this. Dolph actually went for Dolph and another character in this. Ralph, I think it's Mueller, isn't it? Went for the part in Gladiator.
Yes, that's correct.
Dolph was turned down because he couldn't act.
Yeah, the other guy got it. He's a German actor.
Yeah.
He's been Mueller. Well, let's talk about it real quick here. What works and what doesn't. Obviously, we all know the story, and there are two Vietnam vets that Dolph Lundgren obviously loses it and starts killing everything in sight.
It's a pretty effective and powerful opening scene. Actually.
And we talked about the '90s where they start pushing the envelope a little bit with music and with cinema. This opening scene can be dark when he shoots that guy in the head and he kills, and the woman blows up with the grenade. And so it's got a dark tone to it, but the problem is you look at Dolph and
Lundgren's acting doesn't sell it as a dark psycho. He's not Marlon Brando,
Yeah, he's not James Woods or Harvey Keitel.
And Apocalypse Now or whatever,
He's better when it's in the robotic mode where he doesn't get to say much, and it's just
because he is a fucking robot.
Yeah. And the other thing as well about the start, you're saying it's dark. Like, one of the first things you're introduced to is Dolph putting ears on a necklace. It doesn't really get like a lot darker than that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
good line.
That
to be
was
fair.
a bit. That didn't quite. Not that I don't care about violence or whatever. That doesn't annoy me at all. But again, it's back to the acting. It didn't. Dolph didn't sell it to me as this really unhinged, psychotic who had lost the plot after all the horrible things he had seen in Nam. However,
his emotional acting was terrible.
Yeah, that's it. However, it's a very dark scene, and it's quite a good opener.
Yeah.
It has. I mean, it does what it needs to do. It's quick and to the point. We find out that now these guys were. I do love how. I thought they were Universal Soldiers in the beginning because when they shoot each other like 17 different times.
Yeah. And they're still. It shows you a close up, and they're both still breathing when they're on the ground.
Yeah.
But anyways, they become these Universal Soldiers, and there's a cool scene where, and I think this is where the movie hurts. The one reason they needed to get rid of Ali Walker, who plays Veronica, one of the worst fucking actresses.
Yes, she was bad.
Yeah, she tries so hard.
Well, she
tries.
Yeah, she was up there with Van Damme and Lundgren and the awful acting stakes.
No, I understand they're playing this for cheese. I get that, but her acting ruins it. Her voice is that scratchy voice, very annoying.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad when you're saying one of the best actors in it because of his robotic acting is probably stands out is Dolph. If you were to pick an actor who's like
Dolph?
You'd say who was the best actor in it, I would say that for his just roboticness it would have been Dolph, and he probably got a bit of practice off that with it's the same kind of character as Drago, isn't it? So and when you're saying that, that the acting's not exactly stellar. Like,
we talk the scene where they're I like the whole takeover when they're rescuing the guys, they're rescuing the people, the tourists from Hoover Dam, whatever it was. It's a great scene when they're oh my God, they're not gonna be able to make it in 3 minutes. They're 7 miles away swimming. They'll make it. And anyways, it's a cool. It's a cool scene.
Cool. Yeah.
But here's the problem. Then you start seeing Dolph's bad side. He starts tweaking a bit. And then you see Van Damme's, he starts tweaking because he's recognizing him tweaking.
Yeah.
Because they both tweaked together in Vietnam. That sounds kind of bad when I say it that way.
As long as it's not twerking. Yeah.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. They should have gave us another scene. You know what I mean? They should have gave us another. Now, for budget reasons, they probably couldn't. But they should have gave us another rescue scene.
Yeah, well,
kind of further his change.
Yeah, Van Damme starts when he sees the two Vietnamese people, the hostages, and they were actually the same two hostages. They're the same two actors at the start. So,
were they? I didn't.
Yes,
yeah.
But that for me, that was too much of a coincidence as well.
Well, yes, yeah.
No, hold on a minute. Hold on. Dolph killed the two people in Vietnam, so there would have been different characters then.
Oh no, they were different. This was like 25 years later.
Yes.
Just the same actors.
Gotcha.
Actors.
Yes.
He's just they're just doing that for dramatic effect, so he's having a flashback.
Yeah.
They survived
and didn't age.
And they decided, hey guys, let's go to Hoover Dam.
But what I want to know is, see the people who are kind of watching the Universal Soldiers in the cameras, how do they see it? And them cameras are like 2 megapixels.
Yeah,
it's like watching Tetris.
Yeah. Can I say as well, what another major gripe I had with this film, it majorly rips off RoboCop. The story of RoboCop, the resurrected sort of guy, and having memories of his past life.
No, I think it's different.
It stands on its own.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, it does, because you've got two of them now.
Yeah.
Two enemies in the same kind of position.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're stretching about that one.
Oh, well, apparently it was heavily criticised at the time as well, for the similarities to RoboCop.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Also, the wee eyepieces that they have, they're essentially the Borg from Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah, they're from Star Trek.
I got other vibes. There's sort of Predator vibes, and
Well, you could say that with Predator. You can say that with Die Hard. You can say that with Lethal Weapon. You can say that with Commando. You can say that,
The big ones for me were it was definitely sort of, there was a bit of ripping off there with RoboCop and Star Trek.
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that. I mean,
I thought it was like quite a good. I think the best thing out of this movie is the storyline. I think you could have got that storyline and done it really, really well, and even darker, and even not with the big muscly kind of action hero guys, but done it on more of a lower dark. I think you could have done a really good movie. I think it's a really, really good idea. It's just they kind of went about it, as you said earlier, Ciaran, with the 80s kind of commando vibe. Let's get the big strong guys in and make it just full action.
I mean, you're spot on, because this movie would have played better with two up-and-comings. I don't know. It could have been Kristen Slater and Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Could have played this role better. You didn't need the muscle.
Yeah, more
because
stealthy.
These guys are indestructible anyway. You didn't need the muscle.
Yeah, stealth and scary. Like stealth and freaky and dark and gritty.
So, we'll get to... So are they human?
No, they're zombies.
See, this is another major problem I have with
confused.
it. See, the science, the in-universe science, it's sketchy at best. I mean, even whenever they meet the Doctor, it's just we discovered a way to bring you guys back from the dead. Okay, let's move on, and that really sort of bugged me because it was lazy.
They would have had to have a half-hour scene with the Doctor on a whiteboard trying to explain it. It would have been that scene from Jurassic Park,
But I like mumbo jumbo.
I
like pseudoscience in films because I like to know that within a universe that I'm sort of now immersed in, that there is some logic. This is just whatever.
Wait a minute.
Let's move
on. You're saying you're looking for some logic in fucking Universal Soldier, but the fucking lighthouse, that's okay.
Well,
that's okay.
I got the logic of the lighthouse.
No, bullshit. And also, don't even. You know what? No, you have no say in this at all. But I do agree. With Trevor. A lot of studio movies like to do what they call the one-line fix.
Yeah.
And walk away. Now they could have given us something. All I wanted an answer was, can they get shot in the heart? Are they dead? No. Are they robots? Or
they're zombies. They're zombies. They're real, but they've been brought back from being dead. But they are real soldiers that now it's
Alex Murphy in RoboCop. It's the same as Alex Murphy in RoboCop.
But he's not a zombie, RoboCop.
He is,
No.
in a way.
No, he's not.
No,
Well,
I
he's a
think he can
cyborg.
die. I think this comes across from.
They're zombie cyborgs, basically. in a
No,
way.
I think this comes across with Ralph
not robots.
Miller's character when he gets shot and then he wakes up. They are alive. They know they overheat in the fact that they can perish. That probably is the way they perish. But look at the way Van Damme eats and stuff. There's no. He just keeps going and going. To me,
They're
they
cyborg
are.
types.
They're zombies. They're zombies.
You got to get away from they're not cyborgs.
Well,
They're not
no-
cyborgs.
there's
They're
no mecha-
types
there's
of
no-
cyborgs, I think.
There's no mechanical in them.
Yeah, they're zombies.
Their body regenerates with
Well,
ice.
this goes back to the problem that didn't give us any.
No,
anything to go
even
on.
I know that. Even I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not cyborgs. They have to wear those fucking masks.
Yeah.
Those eyepieces. No.
Yeah.
They're not. They're zombies.
Right.
They're
And
zombies.
they need the ice to keep them rejuvenated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, when Van Damme survives, spoiler, and he lives on the farm with his mom and dad, he just needs a bathtub of ice to maintain his livelihood. So if he's going to dust crops with Pa, he needs to quickly take a bathtub with ice.
What about the one-liners in this film? I mean, that was another effort at trying to sort of use cool one-liners that the likes of Stallone or Arnie, and that be said as well. Stallone and Arnie made some dodgy naff films as well, amongst the great ones. But the one-liners were just ropey, like so.
Yeah, Van Damme's he has a bit of a cult status about having bad one-liners, like
And his delivery
Time
of them
Cop and all that.
is terrible.
it's
terrible
it's
as
terrible,
well.
but its delivery of most of his lines is pretty terrible. To be fair to him, we're talking there about. I quite like that first scene where they're kind of running in and it's very militarized, military
Yeah.
operation.
Yeah.
That doesn't last long. It just seems to
I
be
know.
that the military just completely falls apart in the kind of regimental kind of status of it.
I like the colonel guy who was a bastard who gets killed about halfway through.
Yeah. Woodward?
Yes, yes.
No,
Something
Colonel
like
Perry.
that.
Colonel Perry.
Right, it's
Colonel
something
Perry.
like that, yeah.
Woodward's a scientist guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ed Rossi or somebody like that. He always plays bad guys in the
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
he was
I'll
like an
tell you
evil
what my-
Troutman.
Yeah, I'll tell you what my favorite part of the whole movie. Well, I've got to say second favorite part of the whole movie.
I've got a favorite part myself.
Right, my one is. Do you know at the motel?
Oh Jesus!
Yes.
It's the same hotel in Commando. It comes apart really easily.
Yeah, right. So, but the best bit is right. The commandos come in and unleash like some amount of ammo. Van Damme's running through walls. Right.
Yes.
The place is being shot up. They manage to escape, jump into a car, and as they drive through the front of the motel, like the actual, foyer bit, the old woman sitting reading the newspapers, the whole bloody thing.
Yeah. And then doesn't she make a comment or something whenever she sees Van Damme naked?
It's just that's why it's just it's comedy to me. Like it is. There's so many.
What
bits in it.
I found actually, whenever they're actually trying to be comedic and trying to be funny, I didn't think it worked very well. But whenever they weren't trying to be funny, that was much funnier.
Yeah.
Well, you had that horrible scene where Van Damme finally eats his first big breakfast,
Yeah,
and he keeps eating, and he beats the shit out of the people in the restaurant.
that's right. Yeah.
I was like, well, first of all, you didn't have the right to beat the shit out of them because they are right to question you how you're going to pay for this.
Yes.
But it was just, it's funny when you have an actor like Van Damme, and I like Van Damme. I'm not here to just, I liked his stuff, and I enjoy his movies as bad as they could be. So the problem with Van Damme is already robotic as it is.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
for him to dumb down his robotic acting to pretend he's a zombie worsens it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
His slow talking and his
It's
it's
the
just
way
not
he looks.
convincing.
yeah. At least with Dolph, when he made a comment, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" He had some kind of you went with it. There's something about Dolph, you just went with it.
I can't believe we're praising Dolph. I can't believe
Dolph's believable because his physical presence, more than anything. Can I just say as well about Dolph? Outside of his acting, he's pretty much a genius. He has all
Yeah, we
sorts
talked
of
about that. We talked
master's
about that,
degrees
yeah.
and and
I
doctorates and
can't
stuff.
believe.
Obviously not
I
in
can't
acting.
believe we're sitting here praising Dolph Lundgren as acting. I can't. What has happened?
No.
What has actually happened here?
We have to find something.
Where did it all go wrong?
I mean, you've got fucking Ali Walker and Van Damme. So of all of them three, he is fucking Laurence Olivier
Yeah.
or Alec Guinness.
True. True.
You know? Yeah. But my favorite scene was the bus scene. I think this was the best scene in the film. I thought it was pretty cool.
The action's cool in it, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. The minus the fighting. I think the fighting just OTTs it.
But the bus scene, I thought was well choreographed and some good stunts, which I enjoyed. And here's, as we talk about it now, it's too bad they're not going to do it, especially if you got the guys all in Emmerich behind it, because if you look at the films we mentioned, Independence Day, there's cheese in all of it.
Yeah.
And so they weren't going to go this direction. But a darker take would have been nicer.
Yeah, it would
I
have
think it
been a
worked
better
well.
film with
Like-
actual proper actors.
Well, even if you kept these two in it, it would have been nicer. Even at the end when they're fighting in his farm home, whatever they're fighting, and they're
His family
no,
home.
hear me out, and they're fighting, and the big basic fight scene, and Van Damme's getting his ass kicked like he does in every film, and then the very last second,
back, yeah.
bad guy will say something and go no, and then he'll start kicking ass. I would have liked to see Dolph Lundgren turn. Like, I would have liked to have seen
A final shred of humanity, that would have been really
Yes,
good,
he-
actually.
Him understanding,
like-
like more.
like you stand there, and that's when he starts getting his ass kicked by Van Damme, and Van Damme goes, why aren't you fighting anymore? He realizes you need to kill me.
It would have been a nice
What
sort of redemption for him at the very end, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, because technically Dolph is suffering, it seems, from
Post-traumatic stress.
like PTSD from the Vietnam War, which I'm sure a lot of people went through, and I'm sure it's I've heard stories about people who've been involved in war who, when they get home, believe that they're still involved in
First
the
Blood
wars.
is an example, the original novel and film.
Yeah, so I would have liked, instead of just making him a complete bad guy, and yes, he did do some terrible things, give him a bit of understanding behind his character.
Yeah, it wasn't
but
Platoon, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think that would have been a nice little twist. Problem is, I don't think they could do it because there was so much fluff before that.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
turn the film into.
But that would have been a
into-
really nice
yeah.
touch to have him sort of, with his damn breath, some form of redemption.
Yeah, like when I can't believe I'm saying this. When he throws him on the what's that thing he throws him on
The
the
spikes?
hay
Like a-
barrel?
Yeah,
Combine
Spikes?
harvester
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah, he throws him on there. Right there, he could have had something like he was going to be when he pushes the button. Before he pushes, he wasn't going to push it. He looks at him and goes, "Do it.
Do it.
yeah.
Just just do it. Just push."
But
it.
instead, we got
So that-
you're the star. That's a terrible French accent, but he basically says, "You're you're the star. You're the charge, Sarge."
That was awesome. Though. I do like that. Wow.
The one-liners were just obviously trying to cash in on the sort of Stallone, Arnie, James Bond. One-liners before the
You
kill
needed-
or Bruce Willis. You
You needed the king of the one-liners from Die Hard and Commando, Steve Zissou,
Yeah.
to write
Yeah.
this because he would have nailed
Yeah,
it.
not you're the star. You're the charged,
although-
Sarge. Are we
The
having
ending
fun
did
yet?
The ending did have like a grittiness to it and a darkness to it again, back as kind of, obviously it was mimicking the start, which I
Because of
thought
the
was
rain
alright.
and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, which
They
I
went
thought
back-
was alright.
Yeah, they went back full
but-
circle.
Where did Dolph get the time to grow the wee bit of hair back though?
Was that something to do with their regenerative qualities? Like whenever they were killed, and whenever they like get shot or whatever, they like healed.
So his
No, no.
his long wee bit of hair just grew
I-
back at
I
the
don't
end.
know.
Just-
No. What happened was when they go into their little van and they get the steroid in the back, there's a little hairdresser behind there too.
Oh,
cutting their
right,
hair.
okay.
But they never
That's
got
it.
that opportunity
Yeah.
because he killed everybody. So his hair grew because he got some ice. Well, what about the scene where? Oh, this is a horrible scene where they realize he's being tracked. So he takes off
Yes.
all his clothes.
Yeah.
My
and
God.
she's got to look around for the tracker. Oh, what a horrible
Yeah.
scene!
It's when it's
that
when
I cringe word. That was cringe.
Yeah, it was meant to
She's
be
on her-
comedic, but it was just like
Yeah.
too much.
she's on her knees.
That's right.
She's on her knees, and she pauses, and he's like, "Is that normal? Is that meant to be there?"
Yeah,
And
that's
she's
right.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no.
And then isn't there a joke about something? Isn't there a joke whenever she has to like reach around and do it or something? And he goes, "It'll be hard" or something, or something like that. There's some real corny joke in there. I mean, I got sort of lost with all the corniness, and it was just like a sort of onslaught of corniness.
I just thought the scenes with Dolph Lundgren were the best.
Yes, I agree.
His team keeps getting hurt. His team, and he keeps trying to rejuvenate with ice. Yeah. Mueller's always on fire.
Yeah.
Then he goes to the grocery store.
See, the thing is with Dolph, he does look the part. He has that great physical presence. The problem in this film, which had a lot of emotional sort of dialogue and stuff, the stuff with Vietnam and stuff, his line delivery was just fucking wooden. He's better in Rocky 4.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's much more effective because he doesn't have much to say.
Oh. Yeah, he doesn't speak.
Yeah, and it's just this, intimidating presence, like Arnie in the Terminator. Because let's face it, Arnie's not exactly, Laurence Olivier either. But in the Terminator, he pulls it off because he has very little to say, and he has this menacing sort of physique, and Dolph has that too.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's it.
I like the Dolph scenes.
Yeah, that's
again,
right.
Despite the horrible. I mean, this film has got F written all over it, but I'm giving it a pass because I enjoyed it.
I enjoy it.
I watched it on 4K. I bought the fucker on 4K, and I was like, "Oh God, don't make me regret this. Don't make me regret this." But I had a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about nostalgia. We did it with the Karate Kid last week, and I still enjoyed it. I was a little concerned. I do. It's got the flaws. I'm catching now because of the podcast. Mm-hmm. They're bad, but there's something about it you just enjoy, and Dolph Lundgren's the reason. Period.
Yeah, 100%.
You could put anybody else in the Van Damme role.
Yeah, I thought Van Damme does let it down, and I do like Dolph. As I said earlier, I like Van Damme as well, but I had to choose between the two of them. Definitely Dolph.
Yeah, Dolph makes a film for me.
There's 4 sequels to this
There's
thing?
more than that.
Yeah, I haven't watched one of them.
There's prequels and all.
They got pretty good reviews.
Some of them, yeah,
they're not.
They've got mixed reviews. And Van Damme pops up, and there was some we had recently as well. Like
there's one called
stuff.
There's one. No. There's one called Universal Soldier, and these two are back. Same characters.
Yeah.
How did the piece end together after it?
I watched
going
it
through the chipper,
and I was like, "Who the fuck reviewed these? Saying these are good?"
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I haven't seen any of the sequels. I have to admit.
Don't. Neither did the writer or director.
Neither did Van Damme.
Don't worry about it.
I don't think he's seen it either. I don't think he read the script for this either. The original.
I will say this: I'm shocked this didn't get a sequel.
It did get a sequel.
No, well, you know what I mean. Sooner than later. We're not talking 18 years later.
No, there was one like about 3 years later.
Yeah.
There was one called Universal: The Return.
Yes, yeah, Universal. Yeah,
but that wasn't with Dolph or anybody. That was just with Van. It was
more of a patient, just
Stone Cold Steve Austin or somebody.
Yeah,
but my point is, I think, my point that I made in the beginning of the podcast was this kind of cinema died, and this was the tail end of it. So I don't think they really could.
It did.
They really could make a sequel at that point. I don't know. This is one film I wouldn't mind seeing it get remade.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like it done very differently if it did. And that I would like it with, as we were discussing, I would like it done with a much more darker, grittier, edgier tone, and also with
actors.
Someone like Tom Cruise in the Van Damme role, or somebody who actually has the acting chops to do the emotional stuff. I mean, that's why RoboCop, one of the reasons RoboCop is so good, well, there's several reasons RoboCop's much better, actually, but one of them is Peter Weller can act. Even under a fucking mask and a metal bodysuit.
I know, but you have a tendency, Trevor, to compare these food.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's probably a
films.
bad comparison, but there is similarities with the plot.
You can't really do that. You can't really, but it is what it is. It's B cinema at its best.
It's cheesy. It's cheesy, over the top action fun. You know, you don't take, you know, you're not looking to watch this film to be, you know, deeply touched or anything like that. You know, it is what it is, and it does exactly what it says in the tin. Shit blows up.
Yeah.
You know, and there's loads of guns and shooting.
The way I would describe it is, if I flicked over some channels and it was on, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go out of my way to put it on.
It's a good drunken film.
So you wouldn't go to the store and buy it on 4K like I did?
No.
No, that's dedication.
I will say this: it's gorgeous on 4K.
Right.
It is. It's beautiful. I mean, it is. I do like the fact that there's a secret military operation, and they're in a camper van in the middle of the desert. So Ali Walker, the reporter, just follows them. Oh, there.
Yeah.
You know what scene I like? I like the scene where Dolph kills her, just fucking blatantly kills her co-journalist. That was a pretty effective scene.
I mean, like I said, it has glimpses of darkness, and again, Dolph gets all the good parts. He gets definitely the best parts. Yeah. But you definitely need somebody else in the role of Von Damme.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there you have it, Universal Soldier. We all enjoyed it. Can't really. We all know it's flaw, but we all know it's flaw. It's not. We all know it's not. You know.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's better sort of that type of cheesy action flicks, but you know, it's as you said, Chris. It's a sort of film you would watch if you were channel flicking, and you caught it, and you would continue watching it, but you wouldn't go out of your way to you know, there's better of those types of films out. Yeah, you wouldn't go that far. Definitely not.
Oh, I did. Damn it, I'm proud.
Well,
of
all
it.
I can say to that, Ciaran, is you're discharged, Sarge.
Well, actually, that wasn't as good as Dolph. You're a bad actor, Trevor.
Yeah, I know. Oh, fuck I. Yeah, that's why I do bit parts, and I'm shouting man and stuff in the background, you know. Yeah.
We're going to wrap this one up. Again, we all give it a pass, thumbs up. If you guys like Tango and Cash, Cobra and Commando and Red Scorpion, all these fun 80s films, you'll like Universal Soldier. There's no way you
Can I
wouldn't.
just jump in? I remember enjoying, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I remember enjoying Dolph's version of The Punisher back then, like 89 or something.
Yeah, where Marvel didn't give them the rights.
Yeah.
I remember there was some kind of backstory to
He's
that.
black hair on it.
A lot of people do like that one. I
Haven't
can't
seen it
remember
since
the
I was a
backstory
kid.
of What happened to it?
But I remember enjoying it as a kid and finding it dark and gritty.
Here's the funny twist about this. Is, Dolph, obviously was in Creed 2 not too long ago. He's doing the new Expendables movies coming out now.
Yeah.
And the fucker still looks good. I mean, fucking tall, dark, and handsome. The guy still looks fucking good, and he's 60.
Yeah.
The fucker is a Universal Soldier.
Yeah.
I mean, he must sleep on a fucking bathtub of
Them
ice.
guys have looked after themselves. I mean, even Stallone in his 70s, those guys have, and I have the utmost respect for them, the fact that they've looked after themselves, have trained hard, all their lives, and they've looked, I mean, I could take a fucking leaf out of their book, a lot, yeah, so fair play to those guys. They're fitness guys, and they've always, stayed fit throughout their lives.
So there you go. If you could take anything away from this review, is eat better, eat healthy, work out, take your steroids.
Wow.
And have a bath in ice.
Yeah, and take baths with ice.
Yeah.
Steroids, bath, and ice. That's your regiment now for that one.
And cut out the fries and the cigarettes and the beers.
We're definitely leaving ourselves open to lawsuits here for hypothermia and drug addiction.
But hey, you look good.
Can you see it now? Little Jimmy, why did you take a bath with ice and take steroids? Because the assholes on Citizen Frame.
we just blame the writers of Universal Soldier. We'll deflect. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining me in this one. Chris, as usual. Thanks, bud.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Trevor, yourself. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Cool. We're going to wrap this one up. Halloween's coming up. We got our Halloween retrospective coming up real soon, which I'm very excited about. It's the reason why we're doing this podcast is a little film called Halloween. Cannot wait, and we're going to be leading up to Halloween Kills, which is a long-awaited sequel. A little too long because of this goddamn COVID.
Yeah.
The new issue of Phantasmagoria is out already in the newsstands there and locally at Forbidden Planet and all over the world on Amazon, both hard copy and in Kindle format. That is a wrap. Guys, take care of yourselves. We'll see you around. We are out.